So with all the elves set up already for this final offensive that they had against the kingdom of the Clover Empire, we also get some important information regarding the fact of what's happening exactly with Fagolion and Salamander. And depending where a bunch of characters go in the future, this could be very interesting, determining exactly more about how spirit magic exactly works and who exactly could potentially even get certain kind of powerful creatures like this. So definitely I think that this stuff in this chapter was probably the most interesting little snippets that we know at least now about Salamander and a bunch of how these other spirits work. So that was the biggest like cliffhanger that we had like last week, and we was talking about, was like, what the hell? Why the hell is Fagolion able to summon Salamander? Like, are there different versions of Salamander that people can summon? Is it like, how does it work? Like, do they generally share it with Fauna? And the thing is that we finally get this explanation about this where we talk about it, and like even like the elves are a bit confused by this. It's like Asta fought one of these ones and it was like under the Midnight Sun leaders, and it was like, but it disappeared though last time, and seemingly it passed on after like having its fight with Asta, and probably either deemed Fauna not worthy enough or Fauna lost the will, because when like, especially with how Leo and like Fagolion are talking about this, where it's like they're talking about an honest, a firm will, beloved by a mana, a great magic knight, also one of the eldest sons of the Vermilion family, and they were thinking this is no reason all that. It's not a mystery why exactly someone like Fagolion was, or like on the chopping block at least and all that, to be chose for something like this. And he's like, I don't understand more about like why exactly I was chosen, but like I am grateful that I had this power, and you get to see him use it full in action. And he just like the Randall guy, the vice captain, he's like, why is it a filthy like royalty to boot to choose this guy and all that? Why was he under like a human as well? Like after all of this, being chosen to be deemed under protection of the spirit, why? And he's like, even again, the guy was like, you know what? I hate the fact that you're doing that. I just obtained this power and I can't regulate its output. You better fucking defend yourself. And he just purgatory flame, like this salamander's breath just pours out. And trust me, I know, because that salamander's breath is really useful, like, especially in like Quartet Nights as well. Like it was if I wasn't playing Charmy, I was playing Fauna for the most part, and that thing, you just go in the air and you just burn them to the ground, and this thing like just melts him. It's like he's talking about how like even breathing and all that, like just having his breath catch on fire, where it's like this, how strong this, and it can't even erase the amount of like with his wind powers and all that. It's just like the air is burning up, like I can't do anything, and he's just like, nope, seal you, I'm done with this right now and all that. I'm not as the captain, I'm not gonna permit anyone else like to try and attack like my people, this kingdom. There's a nice little moment where we get, he's like, you know, oh, by the way, while you were sleeping, like, bro, and all that, like, Big Sisk subbed in his captain, and he's like, wait, what? There's, like, this general, like, face of concern at first. He's like, what? It's like, oh, no, 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 no. And you get that nice little bit of how she was supposed to be the captain to begin with. So, so it kind of goes to the fact that it's like, no, she was originally more suitable and stronger to be a captain of, like, at least we know of the Crimson Lions. However, that was so out of character for her and all that. It's like, why would I want to be in that pain of, like, a position afterwards? But you can tell already, even without them implying, it's like after what happened to Fagolion, she kind of felt like a little bit obligated to become the captain, and it was like, no, after what happened, it's like Leo is not ready yet to kind of like step up to that kind of plate yet, and it was like, that still, I'm looking forward to like a little bit, because again, like we were talking as well with last chapter that Leo obviously still has room to grow, and I feel bad because his older brother and sister are so much cooler than him. Like I've missed Fagolion and like a lot, and all that. It's been such a long time. Like he's like the one character that we haven't seen in such a long ass time. And plus, we still got a bunch of the captains to kind of see. Like, we still don't know a lot about Jack. We still haven't seen a lot about him and more exactly what's his whole deal with. We still haven't seen that one sleeping one that looks like Shriek from Berserk. We still haven't seen anything really of her yet. She's still like this little trump card, if anything, that people have, but it's like, I feel bad because Mereoleona and Focolion are cooler than Leo, but I like Leo. Leo is that plucky underdog that you just want to win, because you can't hate any of the Vermilion family at all. Like, so that was a nice bit, like, he got up to there. However, we do get to see he did know already, and another reason why he was knocked out, because he did get to see William's face. He doesn't know about, obviously, the whole elite kind of scenario, but he does know that when he attacked him, and a little bit silly, I think, on, like, William's part, I think he was kind of expecting more to kill him at that point. It's like, he did get to see his face, and he's like, I know that Salamander has just shown up and all that, but there are more presence, like non-human presence in the heart of the citizen. Like, he can sense this, like, with the salamander spirit. So what that also tells us, especially, and this is what I felt was kind of important, what we deemed as salamander, is, one, this can happen to Yuno as well. Sylph can choose whether or not, like, Yuno isn't worthy anymore, so that could be a potential thing if, like, if, say, and hopefully not that, because we did have that Aussie, that hinting originally that was like, maybe Yuno might, you know, since Aussie, like, how he was when he awakened from the elf form, but it's like, say, example, if Yuno did go rogue, then he could potentially lose Sylph. Now, we still don't know any about the other spirit magics. We've only seen Salamander, and we've only seen Sylph so far. We don't know about, I mean, if we're going by, like, sort of like how, like, the Salamander, Sylph, there's probably something like Undine or, like, Shiva on there. We don't know, obviously, about the Earth one, like, if there's something like an, like a Titan or something of the matter, like, we don't know about these kind of elements, because they're, like, the sort of elements that we haven't really been seeing at the most part, like, so it's kind of, like, hinted and all that, like, Aussie, with the Silver family, that maybe potentially Noel, or maybe like one of the older brothers and all that, or Nozzle or something like that might get something of like this kind of magic. But it'd be interesting to say like one of the Black Bulls kind of got something like this, or like one of our more main characters got this, and not just the captains, and show like this is how serious of a deal they are. They've got like a spirit magic alongside them. But now here's the thing, as it sets up with the Golden Dawn headquarters, as we see like 15 people. There's around about, like, I believe I counted, it was like 15, 16 total, for including Langris, into this, where that is a bunch of Golden Dawn members that are transformed, a bunch of Magic Knights, and they're all seemingly meeting up at this point, and they all seem a little confused when it's like, as they're looking at their robes and everything, and it was like, kind of being reminded that it's like, these Golden Dawn robes, what do they look like, and what are they supposed to resemble? They're supposed to remember like the Magic King and everything. And it's like, as they're pointing out, and it's like, it looks like, you know, we pretty much gathered up and we look like these weirdo like nobles and all that. And it's like, why? And like they're asking, it's like, why do they look so similar to each other and all that? And it's just like, I just want to kill these guys and all that. And it's just like, you know, when and it's like, I told you that we're killing the humans, we need to do this. And like some of them are a little bit weirded out. It's like, do we have to like that? I kind of rather just be, I'm happy to have my body back. Then we see, of course, what was hinted with Langris, and Langris has awakened his L side. This is weird though. Langris awakens to it. Finral does not though. Finral is fine, like, which I was with. So it is selected people. It isn't just like the fact that it's like, well, what about brother? So this could also mean that maybe Mary isn't potentially chosen as one. But although I remember we did see a little girl that resembled her a lot. We obviously do know about Gauche as well. Gauche is definitely one of the people we've seen, but obviously we're probably going to be saving them for when we see like Asta's group for the most part, because when we set this up as like, especially who exactly Langris's reincarnation was, is because they all figure out already about what the hell is going on. It looks like your cousin was the one that set us up actually, and we know for a fact that they found out already, all these people, like, as the reincarnation, is like, they know exactly about Leet's, like, alias and all that. It's like, oh, he is Patry. This is the guy who he's talking about, and, like, we see his cousin, who is apparently extremely strong, and he's just like, he's stretching himself out, and he's just like, well, time to, like, this night to end, and show these blasters humans a golden dawn, truly, and all that. And he's like, I'm just itching to kill some human royalty, like, let's jump into this. which ends up with a weird stinger of Finral. Finral finally wakes up, which Yami comes slamming down. He's like, you need to wake up and all that. Like, the capital's in some deep shit right now, and I can sense some real non-human magic somewhere there. We need to kind of go and work on this. So, setting up the last little stage of this invasion for the most part, which could be seeing this thing wrapped up pretty soon. Like, we could be seeing like 20 chapters. And I know a lot of people are kind of hitting that saying like, after this, are we actually going to have a time skip, or what is happening? Because I feel like a lot of people, it's like, after this, the Clover Empire needs to recover. They need to kind of build up their forces again. I don't know whether or not we would get a time skip like on there. Like what I know a lot of the time where it's like kind of comes out of nowhere. I don't think Clover really needs one. I think that we'll probably need like a couple of months of rest, like after this, like to rebuild our forces. Obviously, a new magic, like after Julius's death as well, we need to build up someone else who's going to take his place, like that. And that's another thing I was like, well, who's really going to fill in those shoes? Is it just going to be some new face, or is it going to be someone else? Like, is one of the captains going to step up because we need another Golden Dawn leader after what happened as well with William? We also need another magic like Emperor. Like, so we got two big spots filling in, and we currently don't know yet. A lot of people are saying, oh, maybe might try and fill in for the Golden Dawn members, but it's like, no, we've got other higher ranked members, but the problem is that they're elves, so that could shake up the system as well. So a bunch of stuff needs to happen and all that before that, and I'm not gonna lie, I could imagine some time skip designs to some of the characters, and I would like them, mainly just because I like the new designs a lot of the time for characters and all that, like, especially, like, when I think about time skips, that's the main thing, is like, I just like some of the more updated, I like older characters, I like time progressing, and it doesn't have to be like 2 years later, it can always just be like, here's a couple of months. I kind of like how Magi did it, where Magi, like, just had a couple of time, like, small time skips. It always had, like, here's a couple of months of them just staying in this one area, and like eventually after a while they did have a big time skip, and it was like eventually a lot of them were in their 20s and like their 18s and stuff like that. I think Aladdin was like 16, I think, at the end of the series, 16 or 18, and I like that. And like I overall I'm a soft got the updated designs, but yeah, a lot of people have been kind of thinking that that's where we're going after this, is that we will have a full-on time skip, and I think a full new designed Asta would be kind of cool, but we'll have to wait and see and all that, especially with like with the anime now confirmed that it's going above and it's going to the Witch arc, and obviously that they've been changing a few scenes here and there. It makes me wonder, are we even going to get to this point like in the anime? Would they try? I would say if we're going for, like, say, like, Black Clover's going in for another year, they would probably get to the, I would imagine probably to the tournament? Like, unless they're just going to, like, plow through chapters. If they, like, plowed through chapters for a year, they would get to this point and probably end it right here. But considering that they've been really slow pacing it, and then not to mention with the filler as well, and like half the episodes, and they're probably not going to change that for the most part unless they really listen to the fans after eventually after all this time. Like, it could be weird and all that. It'd be interesting if the anime ever gets to this point, because like again, we don't know how long the anime is going on for at all, so we'll have to wait and see exactly what that entails. But this chapter, yeah, I definitely think this was like not as an exciting chapter as last week, as it was a huge pop-off with Fagolion, but we get to understand his powers, we get to understand a little bit more about spirits. It could potentially mean that, hey, if goes AWOL, then that means he could potentially lose Sylph or at some point, and same thing, it's like, what are the prerequisites and all that? We kind of know a little bit more about how exactly who exactly is deemed worthy to choose from one of these. But the question is, do I kind of want to know more about some of the other elementals and all that, whether or not they are they still trapped in dungeons? There's just so much that we still need to know and all that. So I'm curious to see what you guys think about the comments section down below, what you thought about this chapter of Black Clover. But that's all from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys though next time.